with me, as is Nick Burke. What can Mike McArthur-Allen do, gentlemen, to try and create a miracle?
Well, he's gone with all these gun forwards up forward. He's got the two June Syracuses and Lucas and Bowles all in the goal square. They've just got to take risks and go for it. Nothing to lose now.
And Mick?
I exactly agree with Nick. I think they've got to release the tag Calorie on Deneen. It's still happening at the moment. I think you've got to give Calorie a free rein and say, go, son. Okay, we're away. Brad.
There is a gale towards the end that St. Kevin's are kicking. They need 9 goals to win their first A-section premiership. The ball from the centre bounce has been worked along by some taps of hands down to the half-forward line. Now Ibrahim's there for Marcelin. He's able to get out to his teammate Frasina. His short pass to David Johnston. Just couldn't get the mark. O'Connor there for St. Kevin's. His hand pass is under pressure to a pack of players on the rise. Well done by Fraser of Marcelin. Got the hand pass out. Goes to O'Flynn towards Slattery. The two veterans combine, and Slattery's happy for the ball to go out of bounds. 30 metres into attack of St. Kevin's. They trail by 50 points in this last term on the smoke-free scoreboard.
Steve O'Flynn had the opportunity to bring it in the corridor, and as Nick Burke stated earlier, he didn't elect to take the punt, and he handballed towards the boundary line where Slattery was happy to see it over the line and out of bounds. And that's exactly where it is again, on the wing position, slightly towards St. Kevin's scoring end of the ground. Ball comes back into play, and Brown and Pickford again do battle. Pickford getting his hands on the ball, but Brown is quick to respond. It comes out in the area there of Kavanagh. Beg your pardon, it's not Kavanagh, it's Fraser, and the ball is immediately passed on, which sees the ball out of bounds on the half-forward flank position. Grandstand side for Marcelin, and we're entering the first minute of play.
So Kevin's have got to have any chance. They've got to get a goal in the first 2 or 3 minutes. They've got a huge crowd behind the goals at the far end. If they can bring them into the crowd, it'll get them going. That's their only chance. But they need to get a goal from virtually this passage of play.
They've got to get a goal every 3 minutes to win this and not have Marcelin get one. Now, from the kick from Pickford, doesn't get marked, ground level, every contest is so difficult. Well, G in Syracuse, Josh has been penalised for kicking in danger, and the veteran Slattery, he was there in 1998, along with 15 other teammates when they won the B-section premiership here at Elstonwick Park. Actually, the free kick went to Ibrahim in the end, and the ball be thrown in. Smoke-free wing, interchange gate, 15-7-97 Marcelin. St. Kevin's 6-11-47, 2 minutes into the final term.
The ball comes back into play. Pickford, a beautiful shark. He taps it out in the vicinity of Fraser. Fraser quick to get the ball onto the boot. He sends it high. In the corner, in the front there is Jiren Siakusa. In there is Francine. The ball races to the boundary line. Dolman is in pursuit, but Brown sees it safely over the line on the half-back flank, directly in front of the Marcelin coach's box, and we've gone 2.5 minutes in this final term. Ball coming back into play. Again, Pickford to do battle with Brown. Brown gets front position and he works it over the back towards the Cox territory. Cox overruns it. Dolman comes in there. He's battling hard. He's on the ground. It finds its way through players. A quick kick out of the pack there by the St. Kevin's player in Kempton, and it rushes through 4-1 behind. St. Kevin's on the smoke-free scoreboard. They travel now to 6-12-48, and Marcelin 15-7-97 holding command.
On the bench for Marcelin, Godwin, McMillan, and also Purcell.
Yeah, there you saw a passage of play that probably typifies the whole day. St. Kevin's plays, it started with Fraser, just threw the ball onto his boot. It went towards the boundary. No system, no run, no thought of giving it off and perhaps carrying it through the lines, unlike the Marcelin players have done.
Seabury restarts play for Marcelin, but it's been marked here by O'Shea. Left half forward, he's at 60 metres, squares it to Nick Fraser, his teammate.
That's better use of the football. O'Shea's been a good contributor.
Now, Fraser kicks the centre half forward. G and Syracuse, a diving mark. Mick G and Syracuse has taken the mark at 40 metres. He'll go back and kick from directly in front. He already has 2 goals. His side trails by 49 points. This to make it 43 points. Taking his time as well, Nick. Shouldn't he be getting on with it?
Yeah, the clock's still running while he goes back, so yeah, you wouldn't want to muck around. Not an easy kick. Should get the distance though, no problem there.
Now, Mick G and Syracuse crosses the arc. Wind behind him. Awkward looking drop punt. Going close. Goal umpire had to move a long way for a behind. So Marcelin 15-7-97. St. Kevin's 6-13-49. 4.5 minutes into the final term. Brought to you by Schweppes.
Dave Waters now to bring the ball in for Marsland. He plays on immediately, and he takes a risk, a calculated risk it was too, but it's paid off as the ball has now travelled to the wing position. Kempton does battle there with the Marsland player. A good block by Dolman. Hands come out to Fraser. He sees it in there, inside there to O'Keefe, who wheels onto the left foot. He's off the side, off the line of the boot, and Bowles has taken a well-judged mark. A good kick by O'Keefe. A timely one. He deliberately kicked it off the line into space. St Kevin's haven't done enough of that, but here we go. Bowles has got back quickly and will line up for St Kevin's 7th goal. He comes in on the left, and there's a huge cheer at the back of the ground. I suspect that's Marsland supporters. It is, and it results in a behind.
That's what I was going to say before. That huge crowd down there looks huge because it's Marsland and St Kevin's standing side by side. That could be interesting as the quarter wears on.
At the other end, there's the crowd is quite thin behind the goal, so obviously they've decided to go down and cheer on we'll see all the action is down at the end where all the scoring's been done for this game. Now, Waters kicks to himself and he's tackled just about by Lucas, breaks the tackle. Now he runs around Josh G and Syracuse, and it's holding the ball. Ball jarred out. Waters went back in to pick it up, but it's going to be a free kick. Umpire Hinton's paid it. Now, Josh G and Syracuse kicking from the best pocket on Elstonwick Park. He's right next to the fence. He'll be kicking from just inside 40 metres. His side trails by 47 points. This to make it 41 points. He's missed it. Has it squeezed in? It has for a behind. So now 6 minutes on the smoke-free scoreboard. And listen to the accuracy. Marsland 15-7, 97. St Kevin's 6-15, 51. 22 shots to 21. How come, Nick Burke?
I think it's the pressure that's been applied by the opposition. Every time St Kevin's have a shot, get the ball, they're always under the pump. Marsland have been able to run the ball in numbers, have far easier shots as a result.
Now these sides have now played, they've played twice this year, and Marsland won both of them. And Marsland won 9 out of 11 quarters.
Surely that's not 10 metres that Lucas is giving away there at the top of the square.
It only has to be 5 metres now, Mick. They changed that law a while ago. Well, Pickford's taken the mark from the kick in, links with O'Shea, gets it to Mick G and Syracuse, drops the easy chest mark. Hand passes on, gets over to Fraser, his teammate. He's under pressure. It's picked up by Fraser of Marsland. He hand passes. He finds David Johnson, intercepted by Ben Dolman, and his snapshot, I can tell you that snapshot's at the top of the scoreboard. That must have missed by 20 metres.
Again, clear example of the pressure they're under when they get a shot for goal.
7 minutes in on the last term on the smoke-free scoreboard. Marsland 15-7, 97. St Kevin's 6-15, 51. The only hope St Kevin's have is when they recall the last time they played at the Trevor Barker Oval, they kicked 11 goals to 2 on a windy day. They lost by a goal, but wouldn't that be sensational, Mick?
Oh, look, it would be a sensational game if the result turned out that way, and St Kevin's would be able to rattle on a number of goals, but you just can't see it happening at the moment. Again, Marsland take the risk with Francina. He plays on, directs traffic to the other side of the ground, and it's in the opposite back pocket. In the back pocket for Marsland, Gulf side course of the ground, and it's a long kick up the wing position. Underneath this is Dolman. It's punched away very cleverly by Marsland, and the foot race is on. Out there has got it is Francina, I think, again. He brings it inside the corridor, finding Dave Waters, who's linked up beautifully. He gives it across to Ties. It comes into the space of Caffrey. Caffrey works at the pocket. He's got 2 on his hammer. He goes over the line. St Kevin's butter up and relieve the pressure towards the wing position. We're underneath it's O'Shea, but Slattery. He has taken the mark directly in front of the broadcasting area on the wing position, and he's sizing up his options. Slattery. He's got Brown inside him. He elects to go short and finds Cox on the left-hand side boundary line. Cox now has played a terrific game of football for Marsland, the vice-captain, and he's certainly soaking up a little bit of time. Johnson leads for him. He ignores the lead. Cox now being asked by the umpire to kick the ball. He kicks it long towards the boundary line. Caffrey's underneath it. He gets a hand on it, but Pickford relieves the pressure. He plays on immediately. It's a hook pressure kick, and Marnie was good enough to take the mark. He breaks the tackle and works the ball through the centre corridor. It's up towards Dirensi Akusa, and the little fella has got the mark.
That's Mick.
He has played a terrific game of football today.
I'll tell you, he plays very tall for a little fella. That was a terrific mark. Great set of hands.
He does. Reminds me of a smaller version of Wanganeen, the way he twists his body. Mick Dirensi Akusa comes in, and again, it's faded away to the right-hand side for only a minor behind. St Kevin's move on now to 6-17-53 on the smoke-free scoreboard. Marsland 15-7-97. Nick, they've had enough shots.
Yeah, look, if 2 or 3 of them had been goals, maybe they would have got going, and who knows. But again, full credit to Marsland. They're the ones putting the pressure on them. St Kevin's are getting no easy possessions.
Well, Seabury's kick has gone out in the full, so here's another chance for St Kevin's.
Except for that easy possession.
Commentator's curse, Nick. Now, it's Ben Dolman, the hero of the first semi-final and the preliminary final. He's kicking the ball in front of the Marsland coaching box. Simon Dalrymple's not relaxing. His side might lead by 45 points at the 10-minute mark on the smoke-free scoreboard late in the last term, and the drop punt from Ben Dolman out in the full, missed by 20 metres, hangs his head, and Marsland, surely, Nick, they were about to win their first A-section flag.
Well, it's amazing, considering the year they've had, considering that it was a court case that kept them up in A grade. Goes to show that last year they were a far better side than one that, theoretically ended up 9th. They had probably the best midfield last year, and you add Deneen to that. Far and away the best midfield this year. Well disciplined, obviously got a very good coach. They play well under. Got terrific ruckman. You see there Mark Brown just going for the ball as the Marsland player kicks it out of bounds on the full again, but I think it's all academic from here on in.
The ball is now with O'Keefe. He's on the half-forward flank. He immediately plays on. The umpire gives him the all clear, and he centres the ball up in the vicinity of the St Kevin's goal. There's a number of plays on it, but Marsland seem to be able to bring it out of there quite easily, and they relieve the pressure to the outer side of the ground, half-forward flank on the 45-metre line, and it runs out over the line, out of bounce for a throw-in. On the golf course side of the ground, and we're ticking now towards the 12-minute mark as Marsland again bring the changes. On comes Godwin, and off comes Seabury. The ball in is now taken there by Fraser. He eludes one tackle. The ball gets coughed up. It's kicked up in the air. It's anyone's football. It's play on by the umpire. A tackle there by Gerency Akuza on the Marsland player. Very tight. And the ball is going nowhere at this present point in time. It works its way, bubbling along towards the centre half forward position. And finally, there has been a decision paid for a holding. The free kick goes to the half-back flank to Jarrett. He relieves the pressure. And it goes up the wing position where it's taken there. Can't see that player, Brad. Who is it?
Well, it was Waters that kicked it to Fraser, and hasn't that been a terrific combination for them all day? They're looking for Waters every time they get a loose ball on the back line, and they're working up to their half-forward line now.
Comes back to Slattery. He kicks it long. It's intercepted by St Kevin's on the far side of the ground. Garvey on the left foot sends it back towards the wing position, and in steps Brown. He overruns the ball. Coming in there is Dolman. He finds a beautiful hand pass in the vicinity of O'Shea, who couldn't quite control it. Dolman butters up again, but the umpire has paid a free kick, and this time it's going to St Kevin's. Back out on the wing, and that player looks like being Fraser. O'Connor now playing on. He drives the kick in low and hard. It's smothered there by the Marsland players off the pack, and once again they relieve the pressure towards the outer wing position. Intercepting again is O'Connor. He plays on, sends the ball straight back to where it came from. Bowles is underneath this with Gian Syracuse over the back that comes forward, and coming out of there of the back line is Marsland. It's a foot race where Callery runs onto the ball. He's got support there. Deneen is following Callery. They've been hot on each other's hammer for most of the day since the start of the first quarter. Both players overrun the ball. It goes out of bounds in front of the Marsland coaching box, and now we're approaching the 13-minute mark of this final term. On the smoke-free scoreboard, Marsland 15-7-97, leading St Kevin's 6-16-52.
Yeah, McMillan's come on to replace Slattery. Fantastic effort by the veteran from the throw-in. Kempton for St Kevin's. Going to get it to Bowles. He's taken the mark, Bowles. At 40 metres directly in front. We have not had a goal kicked in this quarter, and we're already 13 and a half minutes in. And this quarter being brought to you by Schweppes, as Lucas comes off and Grinter comes on for St Kevin's. 97 playing 52. A 45-point lead to Marsland. Bowles moves in to reduce it to 39 points. And it's gone close. It's there. And that's Bowles' first goal. 14 minutes now into the final term. Marsland 15-7-97. St Kevin's 6-16-52. And I think it's going to be academic because there couldn't be enough time, surely, for St Kevin's to kick really 8 goals.
8 goals, is it?
Yeah.
7. Trying to work it out now. But yeah, academic. You would have thought the way Marsland are playing, 7 goals would be far too many. St Kevin's just haven't been able to bring the scores close enough to put any sort of scoreboard pressure on Marsland at any stage, really.
Well, let me just check with you, Nick. The last time Marcelin were alive was in the preliminary final of 1990. They played Ormond that day. They lost by 26 points. And it was Mike MacArthur coaching that day. He's coached in 5 grand finals. He's won them all, but not today. It's going to be Simon Dalrymple's day as Marcelin go forward to the half-forward line into a contest. Now Josh G and Syracuse is playing back there for St. Kevin's. Great work by Callery. He smothered the kick from Marsden. Callery goes out towards the boundary line. He's found Bernie's teammate. Back to Callery. They're fighting hard, but it's going to be Marcelin. Free kick, and deserved, I think, to Callery, and a 25-metre penalty. Actually, it's going to go to Marnie of St. Kevin's. He was being held too high. Can you recall that day, back in 1990, the preliminary final for Marcelin?
Yeah, I played that day.
How many goals did you get?
Not many. Not enough, obviously.
3 goals. Just
Godwin on and Seabury back on.
Now the kick comes into centre half forward. Now Ben Dolman just can't hold on to it. Pickford trying to do the roving. He's a ruckman normally. Ball works its way out to Deneen. Runs into O'Shea. He can... Now the free kick. It's going to O'Shea. Pickford put his elbow up. Good call by umpire Gibson. Now Deneen thinks he's got the free kick, but it's going back to O'Shea. How about this effort, Nick, by Marcelin? 2 weeks before the start of the season, they could have been relegated.
They've rewritten the history books this year. They really have, because normally when the side wins A grade, they've got to serve a little bit of an apprenticeship. Zaz, before they started their run, lost 2 preliminary finals. So sides that come from nowhere normally take a few years to settle in. Marcelin haven't done that. They've thrown the history books out this year.
And the kick is now, the possession's now with Deneen. Kicking down towards Trigonowan. Maybe in his back from Kavanagh. Play on. Nick Fraser picks it up for Scobbs. Chips it over and he finds Byrne. Represented Australia in the 1996 Atlanta Olympics as an 800-metre runner. Now he's hand passed to Garvey. Under pressure, the kick's out wide, and well done by...
Wonderful mark.
Tice to take the mark and relieve now for Marcelin. He kicks across the face of the goal, and it's with Brown. Simon Dalrymple, Mick Hagan. How about his effort? Debut year, he's got his side the minor premiership, and now the major premiership.
Look, Simon at the moment must be sitting up in the box as he watches that clock tick on by. It would be like any other coach. It's not over.
17 minutes, final term, smoke-free scores. Marcelin 15-7-97. St. Kevin's 7-16-58. Yep.
He wouldn't be like any other coach. He'd be sitting it out. He'd be waiting for that fat lady to sing. But right now, he would be starting to be a little bit more relaxed than what he was prior to the bounce of the first ball at the start of the game.
This club, Marcelin, came into the amateurs in 1971. 30 years later, they've won, well, they're about to win their first A-section premiership. Now, from the throw-in, working the ball out, is Marcelin through Moran. They get it over to O'Flynn, one of the veterans. Hand passes, back in board, finds a teammate. That's Johnston. He's kicking to the goal square. Off the ground, Caffrey. Caffrey's brought up his second goal for the match, and the sealer. It's going to be the Marcelin Eagles' first A-section premiership in 2001 on the smoke-free scoreboard. Marcelin 16-7, 103. St. Kevin's 7-16. The reverse, 58.
Well, Anthony Cathry, I guess, by his recent form, has had a relatively quiet day today, but that's exactly why you have him up in the forward line. He's that sort of player that can turn a half opportunity into a goal, and they're absolute worth their weight in gold, those type of players.
Steve O'Flynn was part of the attack there that brought the ball forward, but the difference again, Marcelin's numbers and fleet of foot, good use of the hands, get the ball into space, work the width with the handballs, and they keep finding receivers. The ball goes crashing into the Marcelin forward line. It's a pack 2-on-2. Relieving the pressure is for Greenham on the far side of the ground. He'll kick it out there. He'll find Byrne. Now, Byrne should show some toe here, and he should go all the way. He's got no one in front of him. He strides along. That's his second bounce. Deneen comes out to meet him. He steps around Deneen, and one more. He drives the ball across the half-forward flank. Grinter spills one. Perhaps he could have taken. It was a hard one. It got low. Kempton spins back into trouble. Out of trouble. It's taken away there. Good hands by Moran. He finds the ball out there in the vicinity of Fraser, and Fraser relieves the ball out to the far side of the ground in a foot race there for McMillan, but it'll see the ball over the line and out of bounce on the far wing position. We're approaching the 20-minute mark of this final quarter on the smoke-free scoreboard, and Marcelin 16-7, 103. They lead St. Kevin's 7-16, 58.
Are you surprised, Nick, how easy this, well, relatively easy it's been for Marcelin today?
Yeah, look, it doesn't surprise me the way Marston have played, but I thought St Kevin's would have put up a bit better show. I thought they might have taken it up to them, but their whole sort of structure broke down when they couldn't get that ball early into their forward line, get their forwards going. Absolutely due to Marsland's pressure.
Ball's now out in the half forward line for Marsland. What about the week's rest? It's how important's that been for Marsland?
Look, I don't think if you go back and looking through the history books, there's no real pattern to it. I've coached a premiership side winning via the preliminary and via the semi route. I don't think there's any advantage or disadvantage really.
And the ball's out of bounds again. It's still in the Marsland pocket. And 3 of the past 4 A-section grand finals have been one-sided. And even last year on the scoreboard it seemed one-sided, but it was close until halfway through the last term. Is that a concern for the VAFA?
It's just a pattern of football. It's happening more and more in the AFL. We're seeing it. I'm not sure if it's permeated through to amateur ranks. I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, O'Keefe is driving for St Kevin's, but the mark intercepted by Tice. Bowles throws him down. That should be 25 metres. No, Tice will get back up and take his kick. We might just see how many people are listening to us today at Elsternwick Park. You might just want to give us all a wave. Anybody who's listening, give us a wave up in the commentary position.
It's like a young girl down the front there.
Someone there's listening to us. You're from Marsland, madam? You're from, so you'd be happy, wouldn't you? Yes.
It's like a Mexican wave out there.
It's a Mexican wave. We've had a couple of people look at us, so that's great. And this quarter's been brought to us by Schweppes, and the whole coverage has been helped by Smoke Free. Ball's at half forward, and there's Brown. Who's won the ruck work today? Pickford, Brown?
I think in the actual contests, Pickford's done okay. He's been competitive, but around the ground, Mark Brown's certainly been dominant.
And the scores on the smoke-free scoreboard: Marsland 16-7, 103. St Kevin's 7-16, 58. 22 minutes in. And one of the reasons for the inaccuracy for St Kevin's, as told to us by our experts Mick Hegan and Nick Burke, has been because of the incredible pressure Marsland has put on the St Kevin's team.
Oh, they have indeed, Brad. They've been harassing them all day. They really haven't given them a moment to be able to get their game plan flowing. They certainly do have their fair share of fleet-footed players, but again, it's been Marston as they come into attack here, been much more cleaner and precise with their handling of the football in difficult conditions. Stacks on the middle on the half-forward flank there at the moment. Marnie gets a handball out, and Greenham, who hasn't seen much of the play, has to turn back into play, relieves the ball out to the half-forward flank towards Garvey, and Marnie relieves again with a long handball up the wing position. But again, St Kevin's just going through passages of play where it hasn't been flowing. Fraser now kicks the ball. Unlike Nick, it's been a left foot kick which has gone off the side of the boot, and I think it's Dave Waters down there who's taken the mark. Another fine game by Dave. He's been in there relieving the pressure from Marston most of the day. He's found space where perhaps he shouldn't have in the grand final.
Captain for the past 4 years, and he gave it over this year. He felt as though he'd had enough of it to Andrew Trigger now. And Trigger hasn't had the greatest of games, only one goal. Maybe that he's looked quick though, Nick. Maybe the back injury's been an issue.
He's been off the ground for a while, starved of opportunities.
Here's Jirensia Kuza. Hasn't really been something special to watch today, but again the ball goes out of bounds. Marsland, you've got to pay them all the tribute that they deserve. They have played well from the outset. They've had ball winners all across all parts of the ground. Slattery in particular was terrific early.
Now, Mick, I can just see that lady who's listening to us down there near the interchange gate. She's agreeing with everything you're saying. Now, from the throw-in, pack of players. This is Paul Byrne, snapshot. It's a big high kick. Will it carry? Ball's rushed through from behind. Or a free kick to Cox. It's been rushed through. So now on the smoke-free scoreboard, 23 minutes gone, final term, brought to you by Schweppes. Marsland 16-7, 103. St Kevin's 7-17, 59. And madam, you'll be off to the... She's giving Caffrey a good round of applause as Slattery comes on. Tonight, apparently, I think the big celebrations are back at the Beehive Hotel. They've got a big banner up on the Beehive in Kew. It says, congratulations to the Marsland Amateur Collegians Football Club for being minor premiers for the first time in A section. And that's come up, of course, in this year, 2001. The ball's at half forward, and it's going out towards the boundary line. St Kevin into attack, but it's all academic. 24 minutes gone on the smoke-free time clock. 103 plays 59. Is that right, madam? All the action tonight back at the Beehive Hotel. There she is. She's giving us the thumbs up. That's where you got to go tonight if you want to be part of the Marcelin celebrations. Well, Nick, you're an old Marcelin boy. Will you be there, or?
Haven't had the invite, but I might pop in.
They
might get booed out of the joint
down there after going to Savs.
No, I think they'll kick me out. Just looking into the crowd, though, Brad, terrific to see Tim Norton down there, who's been working at the club tirelessly for 30 years. Great to see someone like Tim.
Now, I can see Tom Brain just looking at us. That lady, Tom, is about 20 metres to your right, and I'll point her out. Get her on the mic as soon as we finish, OK?
I think while we're paying the acknowledgement to Marcelin and their wonderful effort today, we must also applaud the St Kevin's Football Club on getting to their first A-grade grand final. They certainly overcame some difficulties early, had to face Xavier. They got up in a wonderful moment in the final quarter there with a terrific goal, and they have been part of this whole A-grade
Glenn Scarborough's going over. That lady's just near the box there, Glenn. Just put your hand up, madam. Put you on air for a sec. Come on, say a few words to us on Southern FM and Northwest FM. As we've got a G in Syracuse and Mick having a shot at goal. It's a dead pocket. Time on here, 25 minutes gone. Just say a few words to us. Now, madam, you can hear us. What's your name? Just tell us, as Mick G in Syracuse has a shot at goal, out in the full or behind, it doesn't matter. What's your name, madam? Rebecca?
Brad wants to know your phone number, Rebecca.
No, Rebecca, how come you follow Marcelin? Now, we just seem to... Can we just get her up on... How's it going there, Wayne? Are we getting her up on... How come, Rebecca? We can't hear you, unfortunately. Got a problem with the radio mic, I think. Is your mic on there, Tom Brain? The mic's on?
Is it working?
Yeah, you're talking now, Rebecca. Yep. We can hear you. Now, how come you follow Marcelin, Rebecca?
Because my husband's best friend plays for them.
Now, what's his name?
Glenn Cox.
Glenn Cox. And,
yep.
And your friend's name?
Aaron.
Aaron?
Yep.
And what do you think about the performance this year?
I think they've done very well.
And have you got a friend out of the team? Is one of the guys, are you associated with somebody or just a supporter?
Sorry?
Are you just a supporter or are you friends with one of the players?
Friends with Glenn Cox.
Good. Well, would you say he's best on ground today?
Definitely.
Would you say he's the best player at Marcelin this year?
Definitely.
All right, I'm doing pretty well here, getting all the yeses.
I'm #1 supporter.
Are you?
Yes.
Good.
Good on you, Rebecca.
How hard has Glenn worked this year?
Pardon me?
How hard has Glenn worked this year?
#1 supporter.
Very hard.
I'm his mother.
Oh, hello,
we'll
Mrs.
get back
Cox.
on the footy. Okay, the
Got 'em
ball's
all
on the
going
half
now,
forward
Bradley.
flank for St Kevin's.
Thanks, boys.
And Marcelin are into attack. It's on the arc on the far side of the ground, facing the Elstonwick Hotel. The ball comes back into play, and there was Glenn Cox in there for the ball a moment ago, and the umpire will call it's mine and ball it up outside the arc, 45 metres from the Marcelin goal. On the smoke-free scoreboard, 27-minute mark, we see Marcelin 16-7-103. They are leading St Kevin's 7-18-60. And as I wanted to complete earlier, St Kevin's should be acknowledged for a great effort in getting to the A-grade grand final. Well done, fellas. The ball is resumed in play, and again, Mike Gibson will call for a ball up. Nick Burke.
27.5 minutes gone. Not a lot of goals in this quarter, so I think it'll only be about a 30-minute quarter, so only a couple of minutes to go before Marcelin makes history. Like you said, St Kevin's will learn from this. I'm sure they'll come back. They're a young side like Marcelin, but are we seeing, Brad, the start of another dynasty?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. They've got 6 players here today, Marcelin.
Here's
aged
Cox.
over 30.
He gets the ball right into the goal square, but relieving the pressure for St Kevin's is Kavanagh, who's taken a well-timed mark. There he finds Greenham all alone in the centre. But the ball, as has been all day, has eluded the St Kevin's player. Greenham is good enough to find it. He feeds a handball backwards in the vicinity of O'Keefe, whose left foot pass comes back to Greenham. They've tag team there. Greenham gets round one. He gets around Marcelin. He leads up on the left foot. He only puts a little bit on it, hoping for GNC Yakuza. Bowles jumps onto it. Picked up there by, I think it was...
Kempton.
I can't pick that player up.
I think it was Kempton there.
Kempton, 29. It was, Nick, you're correct. And it's gone through for another minor. On the VAFA scoreboard, smoke-free, it's 16-7-103 to Marcelin. And they lead St Kevin's, who have been inaccurate, 7-19-61.
Interesting to see here, Mick, that Simon Dalrymple is bringing on Stephen O'Flynn and Anthony Caffrey, so they're getting a few of their veterans. It may be their last game, I don't know, but good to see they'll be on the ground when the siren rings.
You'd think it'd be Anthony Caffrey's last year. 36.
Good way to go out.
He is. I played on him in the early 90s, and he had a terrific leap then. The spring's perhaps gone out of his legs, but he knows where the goals are.
Just want to say thank you to Wayne Steele, our technician today. as well as Andrew Leclerc back in the studios of Southern FM, John Kelly here at Elsternwick Park, and at Northwest FM, Peter Taylor. You've been manning the boards there, so thank you so much for all your help today on this dual broadcast on Southern FM and Northwest FM as we hit the 29-minute mark. Final term, Marcelin 16-7, 103, St Kevin's 7-19, 61.
Waters to Brown. They come up towards the wing position. Marnie misses the football. He gets back on it quickly. Calories in there to butter up. He gets a little quick kick over the back. It's picked up there by Michael G and Siracusa. He sends the ball back towards the centre half forward position. In front there is the Marcelin players. Burners quickly to get onto it. He sizes up the goals. He gives the ball back to Fraser. Fraser nonchalantly swings onto the right foot, and he just may have registered St Kevin's goal for the final quarter. He has, and it's St Kevin's 8 goals, 19, 67 on the smoke-free scoreboard, trailing Marcelin 16-7, 103, and we've just gone 30 minutes.
And that's Fraser's first goal for the match and just the second goal for St Kevin's in this final term. 2 goals to 1, Marcelin getting the other one through Caffrey. And I think I can hear the Marcelin theme song.
Brad, who would you give your best on ground to?
Glenn Cox, championship quarter, was been consistent in the other 3, but he was just outstanding in that third term.
I would have to concur. I would say that it'd be closely followed by Dave Waters, and perhaps Bernard Dineen's first half was absolutely dominant.
Well, that was the best clash of the day, Calorie on Dineen.
Yeah, he's faded a little bit, but he
certainly was.
We do forget Dineen did kick 4 goals, all in the first half, so that was pretty good. And Slattery, Mick?
I thought Slattery has been terrific all day. Where he hasn't perhaps been running the ball down the wings and so forth, he got a lot of hard balls in close and fed it out to traffic going past.
And best on?
Without doubt, Glenn Cox.
So we concur. Glenn, you'll be happy with that, Rebecca. Glenn Cox has got the nod from us. And we're at centre half forward. Ben Dolman, he has bent over. He picks it up off one step from 45. And Ben Dolman will be able to help ease the pain with a goal like that for St Kevin's. Marcelin 16-7, 103. St Kevin's 9-19, 73. And those Marcelin people won't applaud anything from St Kevin's, Nick.
I think they're just focusing on that siren. The minute the it rings, they'll be out there. Big crowd behind the goals, they'll all stream out, no doubt.
This last quarter has seen St Kevin's inaccuracy again. 3 goals, 8 to Marcelin's, 1 major. They've had 11 shots on the big ones, yet they're still in arrears by 30 points. The ball goes down in the centre of the ground, and this time Grinter gets a decisive knock on the ball, and the siren sounds as the ball goes into the St Kevin's forward line. But it's Marcelin, jubilant, and will tonight celebrate their first A-grade premiership. The final scoreboard on the smoke-free scoreboard reads Marcelin 16-7, 103, defeating St Kevin's 9 goals, 19, 73. Brad.
Tremendous emotion here. We're just watching the coaching staff of Marcelin hug each other, and Simon Dalrymple, in a year where his club might have started off in B section, had the old Melburnians issue not been resolved 2 weeks prior to the season. He has been able to produce something outstanding. Simon Dalrymple was the playing coach of Old Trinity in 1996 when they won the B section flag. And in a year where it was going to be the year of Zaverians trying to set new ground in the VAFA by winning 7 A section flags in a row to try and break University's black record of 6, well, it's been Marcelin. No recruits, a couple of players back from 1999, and the freshness of Bernie Dineen, who's had an outstanding year. Marcelin, an absolutely awesome effort to win their first A-section premiership by 30 points over St Kevin's. That quarter went 32 minutes, as did the other 3. Marcelin 16-7, that's 23 shots. St Kevin's 9-19, that's 28 shots. 103 playing 73.
You're listening to 88.3 Southern FM, where VAFA is football.
Hi, I'm Sima Tammy Van Roosa. Australia's coast needs your help. Over 80% of our beaches have litter problems and lots are eroding or infested with weeds. The good news is coast care groups all around Australia are helping save our coasts and oceans. You could make a difference by joining a local coast care group or forming your own group. For more information, call Coast Care on 1800 803 772. Coast Care is communities caring for our coast.
Southern FM 88. there, Tommy?